let you get started, Noel.
Okay, well, so, the idea of space has always been something that I've loved in terms of analyzing space, moving things around. How can it be bigger? How can it be more interesting? How can it have more dimensions within one open space? And then with that comes color and then furnishings. So I've done it since a young age, and I would even design my bedrooms in my home, and then eventually my apartments when I started living on my own. Started helping friends get their places together, and then one day I thought I should probably start a business because I'm pulling these spaces together pro bono, and you could actually make money off of this. So really that's where it started. But just the idea of kind of coming home and always being stimulated within your own house and being excited about it, and also making it conversational. When you entertain a lot and people come over, like there's something that people are like, oh my gosh, wow, like when you're able to kind of give people ideas from design within your home.
I think I was sharing with you, John, earlier, but coming from a family of Air Force, you move every 3 and 4 years. So being able to put your special touch on every house that looked like everyone else's through the design, our mother had a natural knack for it, and it was just really a gift that Noel just jumped into. And I've always wanted to be my own boss. So it made sense for the two of us to join up and pursue this creative talent with hers and really help people in their homes.
It'll be 5 years in September.
5 years in September.
Yep,
That's awesome.
so
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.
And that's from counting, like making it definitive, like going through all the taxes ID and start actually paying like you have a business. But I really kind of consider myself having my business even 10 years before that because of the type of work I was doing for people, friends, family.
And it's exciting even how it started. I was working for a nonprofit, teaching children how to start a business. So to consult my sister who was posting little ads on Craigslist and seeing her get started that way, to see where we are now, it's just been very exciting and just pushes us to want to take it to the next level. We talk about this a lot, and as somebody who likes to look at target markets, for me, and it's going to sound, I just really think the trust is built quickly when they meet my sister and I, both because we grew up all over the world, so we can click in with anybody pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I think it's really, that's a gift, I think a blessing. So I think it's the trust that's there, and we're just very transparent in our business. You can't be, as a business owner, you have to be able to talk about money. Somebody wants to know what's the average that this would cost. You have knowing your business, talking and being very honest and clear, talking through processes, how much stuff will cost. We're very honest and transparent. I think that's why people move forward with us to help with them in their home or their space.
And additionally, I also think, because sort of the way that my mind is wired, I'm a little unconventional about how I use space. So I'll put tables and sitting areas in areas that you wouldn't have thought. Like you can make a hallway, all of a sudden it becomes a gallery where you can actually have a little pop-up happy hour. So when we do the consultation and people have been living in their homes, or they could be just moved in or live there forever, but when we talk about how we would use the space, and it's something that they could never imagine or an idea they didn't have, they have a hunger for ideas that they couldn't come up with themselves. And I really think a lot of times that helps drive home between the trust factor and the ideas that they're hearing. I think they're like, okay, this is the team we want to work with. I mean, gosh, we've had some good ones. I mean, I think
for what stands out, because she's kind of fresh, Irving's is good. I think we have a client who, she just completely changed her life, just very successful, early 40s, just professional career, recently got a divorce, and to know that she hired us to style her entire condo, like she had nothing in a brand new condo she just bought for herself, and to constantly be reminded, and now to see that we've grown into friends, of how her energy has changed. That one is pretty, just because it's relatable, I think, as a woman in her same age range, it felt very special for me. So that would be one of mine.
Yeah, I think I literally, we just did a master bedroom, and he was just like, these ladies nailed it. There's nothing they could have done better to this room. And he actually we've just left his house, so he's calling us back to other spaces. But he did an Angie's List review, and I posted on Instagram. I was like, this is a great review.
That's awesome.
Because he said if he could have given us higher than A+, and that's cool. You like to hear that. I had to stop being the biggest critic of myself. I mean, it's always, we're in a town of overachievers. It's Washington, D.C. Everybody, A-types wants to be the best. But I just needed to, again, it's celebrating those successes and not being afraid. There would be times when I would just tell my sister, no, we're not going to do that, or I don't know, is that project too big? Is that more than we can swallow? And she's jumping ahead, and I can't be left behind. So I had to kind of jump on up, and then we met halfway. So it was just really seeing it okay, we tried this risk, it worked, let's try another one. So it really was just testing stuff out and not being afraid. And then
and also learning to put dollars behind your business. You know what I mean? Like, you meet people, you talk to people, but then you realize once you start adding some more value to it, like we started off with free consultations. I was traveling all over and just giving people ideas. Then we moved to $50 consultations. Now our consultations, our hourly rate is $175 an hour, and you see where your value progresses, and people would question the 50 more than the 175. So, you learn how to value yourself, and it's not just because, okay, let's just put a number out there. That came 3 years after actually doing it and producing work, and it came after all that time. So then we're like, so that's with the learning of the production part. And putting it out there. So we actually had results of rooms. So we weren't just saying we can do these spaces. We were like, these are spaces we've done. These are.
But I think we're blessed. Honestly, being sisters, I go to a lot of business networking things, and people are jumping in this on their own. And I really stop and think we're opposites in so many ways, where we just meet in the middle, and it's working. So I just feel very fortunate that I'm in business with my family.
I've actually had these conversations with a lot of people that have approached us on design. Even a lady in Home Goods, she said she's talked to other designers, and a lot of times people are a little tight-lipped about what they do and what they charge. But I feel like sharing things is a part of just the interconnectivity of human beings. So what I tell them is, of course, I say talk to people around you that have like little small projects and say, hey, let's put together a budget and let me own this, and really being on top of it. Like, let's shop, and I'm like, and sort of choreograph the whole thing so that people don't feel like easy to sort of back out. And I just say, there was times, years ago I'd be at Home Goods and I would see people shopping and say, hey, here's my business card. So just like that bravery to like represent yourself, that bravery to represent your market and of what you have. It really does take some bravery, but I think entrepreneurs intrinsically already have that. So that's hopefully one thing down, because you can't really train someone to be brave if they're trying to work on these.
And I would say being okay with no's. You're literally gonna hear no's, or someone's gonna, even if it's there's been times Noel, as the designer, will pitch an idea to me, or like a design theme, and I'm like, I don't really see, like, even as her business partner, it takes even convincing for me to fully be there. So if you believe in something and you're like, this is exactly what needs to happen, you got to move forward with it. And again, if you're working solo as an entrepreneur, whatever that looks like, but finding someone that has strengths that, not that you don't have, but they're way stronger than yours. Like, you got to find someone that you can't have two A-types together. You got to have somebody that's going to be the go-getter and the person that's going to research. So you have to have the cautious
the balance is critical. The balance is very critical. Yeah. That way we could continue our meeting of the minds, because it's like, as a business developer, and then I'm kind of like the lead creative, it kind of keeps the meeting of the minds more consistent versus like, I guess, I haven't worked directly with like another artist design, but I could see it could be a little more turbulence there. So well, one of my, I guess, big dreams is I would love the opportunity to design like a really extravagant, decadent hotel lobby, whether in the US or any country in the world. That's just how we are, international people. So that opportunity where you can work with a particular, an owner of a hotel or something like that, boutique, where they like our aesthetic so much that it's like, these are the designers, and it can maybe segue into the lobby, and this, what do we want our corridors to look like? What do we want our rooms, every single room to look like? Because I go into a lot of spaces and I appreciate them as well, but I think, gosh, what could I do to this space? And that's just something that would really excite me on several levels.
And for me, just kind of thinking business growth and development, we're in DC. We've tapped into the DC government, contracting world. And as Air Force brats, I've said in VA hospitals before. So thinking, how can we change a mood and an energy through color, through furniture, through working with the VA? So just we're still fleshing that out, but like, how can we have partnerships behind organizations that mean something to us that's directly connected? So just exploring partnerships with Unparalleled Eye Designs. We know the work that we do. We know the quality of service that we deliver, so working with other people that can respect that, we meet in the middle, would be awesome.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you. And I gotta say, for Juliana, just meeting you just from the jump, and just street entrepreneurs taking advantage of the workshops that you guys are having, and just to come to one workshop and hire the person who gave it to do our website was tremendous. Just that's why we set aside money to hire professionals, outsource the expertise, and we're really pleased. So
that's awesome.
Thank you all for even thinking about it.